I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all absolutely amazing, and we're gonna have a great night and do the damn thing. I'm cross-platforming on both TikTok and YouTube, so I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in each and every Wednesday, each and every Sunday. I was running a little behind, so again, I appreciate y'all for sticking in and rocking with your boy. You know how we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. So again, shout out to y'all for tuning and tapping in. Thank y'all again. And it's the Kenner Brothers Get a Rap podcast, episode 226, if I'm not mistaken. So again, thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. What's up with my hat? Right, my hat kind of, yeah, that's much better, right? And again, I'm cross-platforming, so shout out to y'all. Let's get the show started. Episode 226. You already know. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snap. So you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also, remember, do not be agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out for being and saying negative things. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. You already know how we do. No Willie Lynch mindset over here. The only op we recognize is opportunity. We only celebrate life culture over here. Hate has a location. It's just not here. So let's get the show started. Shout out to the chat. My chat rocking. You know how my chat do each and every Wednesday, each and every Sunday. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to, I'm not going to say everybody, but shout out to y'all. I see quite a few badge holders in the building. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to Hazel in the building. Hey, Ash in chat. Shout out to Culture in the building. My brothers and sisters, I'm badged up. You already know. That's what I love to see. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Ravens Steelers game is wild. Yeah, it is wild. That was a wild one. It went straight down to the fourth. Shout out to King P, yo, my people. I hope everyone is having a blessed night. Shout out to Winter, hey chat, the loyal crew. Another badge holder. Shout out to Ebony, hey Ashley, and the chat. Rowan Jack, my guy Rowan Jack, one of our other day ones and big badge holders. Had his badge for a long time. Shout out to I'm live from Las Vegas for the next 2 months. Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So Vegas got you over there. Okay, that's love. Shout out to Paul in the building. Good night. Hello, Ash. What's up, Big Paul? Paul in the building. Again, one of our other day ones in the building. And again, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Hit them likes. Hit the 100. Stay engaged. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12. So again, every like, every heart, again, it helps with the growth of the show. Don't forget, we have a playlist, Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast playlist. Over 600 rewatchable videos. That's a lot of videos, but they also very entertaining, very informative. So make sure y'all tune in and tap into that as well. Also, there's membership portions in the page. As you can see, you got quite a few badge holders in the building. And make sure you tap into your memberships. Different memberships do get granted different access. So make sure you tap into the membership portion of the page. A shout out to Rowan Jack, gold member, 16 months, having his badge, man. That's a minute, dog. I appreciate that immensely for your major contribution to the show. It has helped us grow immensely. Thank you. All right answers on Terry Crew. Don't start, Rowan Jack. Don't start. All right. I promise tonight I'm not gonna let nobody like make me crack tonight. Pause. Like y'all not gonna get me bust out laughing out loud, and I know y'all gonna try in the chat. So y'all not gonna catch me. I feel like I'm on my game where y'all not gonna catch me tonight. So you know what I'm saying? Shout out to TikTok, because again, I'm cross-platform on both TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. What am I talking about? All right, y'all, let's get the show started. Let's stop wasting time. I don't think we never waste time over here, but y'all get what I'm saying. All right, y'all. First segment of the night, popular opinions. Remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right, y'all. First question of the night. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Make sure you go to at Instagram at OUV Records. Stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. And the new OUV app records is being worked on right now. So you have a better listening experience, a better visual experience. It's just an all-around better app than going to the Spotify and Apple. And Spotify and Apple don't support independent artists the way they supposed to. So we created our own way. And it's in the midst of being developed. And it's going to be great. So make sure y'all be on the lookout for that as well. All right, y'all. First question of the night. The first date red flag. The first date red flag. Number one, they spend the entire time on their phone. Number two, they are rude and loud. Number three, they expect you to pay for everything without offering anything. Without offering anything. Number four, they talk exclusively about their ex the whole night. Let me know which one is in the chat. So again, the first date red flag, the biggest first date red flag. Number one, they spend the entire time on their phone. Number two, they are rude and loud. Number three, they expect you to pay for everything without offering anything. Number four, they talk exclusively about their ex the whole night. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Rowan Jack. I'm gonna get you like Trump got Maduro, the guy from Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? Venezuela's a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? Messing up the travels to Venezuela, man. So I'm seeing 4 in the chat. X, they said X. So they saying the one with the X. So everybody basically saying 4 in the chat. Me personally, I don't know what it is about when people talk about their ex for a guy. It's easier to get with a woman when she's talking about her ex. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she's trying to trauma bond. But if you let a woman open up and she talks about her ex the whole night, I don't know about y'all, but you're going to end up, you know what I'm saying? You're going to end up blessing the cakes at the end of the night. So y'all saying that, talk about the ex the whole night. But me, the way how I date, I kind of let women decide what they're going to be. If they talk about their ex all night, I'm never going to take you serious. So I already know where this is going to go. This is going to go to the bedroom, and that's about it. So my biggest red flag, I guess, would be that as well, because that lets me know that you're not serious. You didn't move on. So I'm not going to waste my time here. So at the end of the night, I'm going to let you ramble and ramble. Yeah. What about them cakes? Like, when we going to get to these cakes? You know what I'm saying? So y'all laughing at me in the chat. But it's real though, you know what I'm saying? It's real. Shout out again to my TikTok and my YouTube. We got my bro Biggs in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in, tapping in. He laughing at me too, talking about facts. It's true. If you let women, most women cook about their ex dude, she gonna let you crack at the end of the night. I mean, that's just always been my experience. I mean, it haven't happened to me many times where a woman will actually talk about her ex, like, you know what I mean? Regardless if she was dealing with a girl or a dude at the end of the night, you know what I'm saying? I just keep it, cool. I already know I'm not going to take it serious, so, you know what I'm saying? Only if you were talking about how much better than your ex. You see, but again, you got to allow people to basically... the saying is like, believe people when they show you. If you going on a date and the person is talking about their ex, you got to believe them. You got to believe them. They're not over them. So, okay, cool. They're not over their ex. Cool. But let's get to the functions. Let's get to the, you know what I'm saying? Every relationship you have with a woman is not going to lead to an actual relationship. So That's just how I operate. If she showing me red flags, I'm gonna, do my thing, but I'm not gonna take her serious. So that's just me. That's how I operate. But if she's doing all the right things, then I'll be like, oh, then maybe I could take her serious. So that's just me. So again, the question was the biggest first date red flag. Again, number one, they spend too much time on the phone or the entire time on the phone. Number two, they are rude and loud. Number three, they expect you to pay for everything without offering anything. Number four, they talk exclusively about their ex. In the chat, mostly everybody went with four, which was they talk exclusively about their ex. Me, I went with, talking exclusively about their ex. The rest of the world at 46%, mind you, over 320,000 people voted on this. That's a lot of people, yo. Over 320,000. That's over a quarter mil. Went with, like I said, 46% went with they spend the entire time on their phone. I'm not mad at that. That's a big red flag too. If you on a date, especially a first date, and somebody spends the whole entire time on their phone, it's like, yo, why are you here? You know what I mean? Like you're not even getting a chance to really learn them or understand where they at for real. It's just a big waste of time. You know what I mean? You're just looking for companions just to eat with you. So I guess people are right regarding that. That's a big red flag. But again, like I said, I'm going with the talk exclusively about the ex because it lets me know what I'm about to do. You feel me? Y'all don't forget to stay engaged. Hit them likes, hit them hearts, hit them 100s in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Okay. The ultimate cookout side dish. The ultimate cookout side dish. Number one, baked mac and cheese. Number two, potato salad. Number three, collard greens. Number four, candy yams. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. The ultimate cookout side dish. Again, number one, baked mac and cheese. Number two, potato salad. Number three, collard greens. Number four, candy yams. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to my dog Biggs. He said true. Shout out to CC Motion in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, my guy. You already know the vibes, man. Appreciate you as always. Salute. Hit them 100s. Hit them hearts in the chat. That helps with the growth of the show. You already know we appreciate you immensely for tuning and supporting the pod. Shout out to Ebony. Hey Ashley, late what? Biggs, he went with one. So one was baked mac and cheese. Big said baked mac and cheese. Baked mac. I feel you. That baked mac and cheese do hit different. It hit different. Paul said potato salad. Roman Jack said baked mac and cheese. Pass the mac and cheese, please. Laughing my butt off. Mac and cheese. So I got a whole lot of mac and cheese up in here. And you know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong with the big mac and cheese. The ultimate cookout side dish. Again, for those who just tapping in. Number one, baked mac and cheese. Number two, potato salad. Number three, collard greens. Number four, candy yams. All I'm seeing is baked mac and cheese in the chat. That kind of let me know what y'all mind is at. You know what I'm saying? Baked mac and cheese is never a bad deal. That's always a 3-point shot. That used to be my most favorite food in the world until I realized when I eat baked mac and cheese, I turn into a round ball. I can't even keep the workout that I did previously if I eat baked mac and cheese. So I had to cut baked mac and cheese out, me personally. But for me, at a cookout, I mainly see potato salad. I don't mainly see baked mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, even though I'm not a fan of potato salad, I'm going to say potato salad because at most cookouts, most people say, yo, who made the potato salad? Most people don't say who made the baked mac and cheese because it's like, how do you mess up baked mac and cheese? And when you get good baked mac and cheese, you can mess around and hurt yourself. You go back for seconds, thirds, and fourths sometimes. Like baked mac and cheese just hit different. But I'm gonna go with potato salad, even though I'm not a fan of potato salad. But that's the main dish I hear at a cookout. So Again, the question was the ultimate cookout side dish. I went with potato salad. The chat unanimously went with baked mac and cheese. It was a little potato salad in there, but unanimously went with baked mac and cheese. The rest of the world at 55%, mind y'all, over 81,000 people voted on this, went with number two, potato salad. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, in the chat, I'm with y'all. Baked mac and cheese at a cookout is the ultimate side dish. You like if you get you a good plate of baked mac and cheese and the music is rocking, yo, you're gonna have a good time. As long as the music is rocking and the baked mac and cheese is on point, you're gonna have it'll be so good you actually would dance with your plate. Like I've had food so good, like but that mix of that barbecue chicken with the baked mac and cheese, you dancing with your plate when it's hitting and then the DJ got it rocking. Yeah. That's a good time right there. That's a good time. That's a good time. So the chat undoubtedly went with that, and that's how you get obesity. Yo, you made me crack. Pause. Oh man, that's a fact. See, a lot of these foods, these are sometime foods. These are not foods that you're supposed to eat on a regular basis, but cookout is a cookout. You know what I'm saying? There's no real rules at a cookout. You come there to eat, party, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And undoubtedly play some good cards. So, I'm not mad at that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our Hollywood Need to Ask Us segment. I came up with the segment because I got better ideas for movies or a movie series. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I think I answered this in the older format, but I didn't format it into the newer format. I would love to see a movie series, not just a movie series. I would say like a 12 episode movie series based on college football. Yes, on college football. College football is a very hot topic, and some of my favorite movies is college football movies, such as Any Given Sunday, such as Remember the Titans, such as Gridiron Gang, such as Necessary Roughness, Varsity Blues, Friday Night Lights. But undoubtedly, my most favorite football movie of all time is The Program, which deals in college football. And that movie is the closest representation to what college football is, not only back then, but even now. But of course, with the new college football, I would ingratiate the NIL, the transfer portal, college football playoff, how players really pick to go to different schools. So I would have a college football movie based on that, where you have a 5-star quarterback who gets blackballed due to NCAA regulations and NILs and things of that nature. So he ends up having to go to a historically, I know I hate saying the word black because that's not what we are, but an historically black college or university where the school is in shambles. They don't got much money for funding, and he's going there basically because he's talented and there's some strong leadership in the community. But the movie would absolutely, I think, would be fire. And again, I don't want to give it all away, but again, that's what would be the premise of the movie in itself, or the movie series. My foundational actors for this movie, and y'all can look up some of these actors while we're on here. Ashley Bryan, Michael Rainey Jr., Mahershala Ali, Michael Coulter, Caleb McLeod, Angela Bassett, Tisha Campbell, Jack LaCote, and Antonio Ortiz. That would be my foundational actors for this movie series. And the director for this movie series, I have to go with Spike Lee. If I need that historic nature of the movie, I gotta go with Spike Lee. And of course, I could be in charge of the football coordination, making sure it look real out here, but I think this will absolutely be fire. And I think this will work. Let me know what y'all think about this in the chat. Do we need a new football movie? I think we do. We haven't had a good football movie or a movie series in a long time. I liked All American when it first came out, but it leaned too much into the drama. After a while, it felt like I was watching like Saved by the Bell, like something like that. It didn't feel like like it felt organic in the beginning, but All American was decent, but it kind of tapered off. And for some reason I have an ink when they pick actors that don't look like they ever play football, and even when they put the equipment on, it's like, yo, bro, we don't wear like football players don't wear the equipment like that, bro. It got to be the swag. Like swag matters on a football field. So we missing a great football movie, and again to incorporate NIL, transfer portal, and college football playoff, and just the overall way on how players pick and choose schools. Like even now, transfer portal is up and cracking, and a lot of the players, the way they announce that they go into a new school is through Instagram. So if you tune on to Instagram after the show, you're gonna see a whole bunch of college players that's saying they going from Nebraska to Memphis, or this school to Colorado, and it's up and down. You got over 4,100 players in the portal. That's a lot. That's over 4,000 people, y'all, in the portal right now. So this will be a great representation in the movie. So I think that would be a fire movie to see. I think, and of course it has to be rated R, and it's a sports movie, kind of drama, kind of thriller. It's going to be all in one. So I think that would be a great movie. Shout out to Ebony again. Big Bad told that Ebony, a great cast. Shout out to Biggs. Yes, we do. We need a new football movie. That is a fact. And that's okay. So I got that one. All right, y'all. So moving on to our next segment, our must see segment. This episode, I'm gonna give out some Eddies, and what that means is, I believe Eddie Murphy is a staple and the standard in the acting community. There's no bigger star than Eddie Murphy to me. Period. Let alone since I've been on this earth. There's no bigger star. Everybody that you see came from Eddie Murphy. Everybody that you see came from Eddie Murphy, or after Eddie Murphy, I should say. First time you seen, I don't want to say first time you seen, but we didn't see Denzel until after Eddie Murphy. We didn't see I have his name, but I can't say it. Samuel L. Jackson, until we seen Eddie Murphy. Samuel L. Jackson, he got, I don't want to say put on by Eddie, but his first things that he did was in Eddie Murphy. When Eddie Murphy did Raw, his comedy special in Raw, he played the uncle. When he did Coming to America, he was the robber. So he came through Eddie Murphy. So tonight, my must-see movies, I'm giving out some Eddies because I watched these movies probably the most out of all the movies I've seen this year. So I'm giving out some awards tonight. So my first Eddie award goes to a must-see movie, and it's called Predator, Killers of Killers. Came out 2025, directed by Dan Trachtenberg and Joshua Wasson. This movie stars Lindsay Lavica, Michael Biehn, Rick Gonzalez, Louis. Yeah, I'm gonna tear this last name up. Pause. Louis Ozanwa Chichane. Again, the movie is called Predator, Killer of Killers. Fire must-see movie. It gets a Eddie. It gets a Eddie. So I'm calling these awards like you have the Oscars. These are Eddies. So my first Eddie goes to, again, Predator, Killer of Killers is a must-see movie. Fire must-see movie. Shout out to CC Motions. I forgot Denzel came after Eddie. Yeah, that's a fact. We didn't see Denzel until I would say mid to late 80s. He was in this movie called Carbon Copy. That was like his first movie. I'll say that was like 80. I'll say that was like 80, like 87, 86, 87. You know what I'm saying? But by time Denzel came about, Eddie was a super duper big dog. Super duper big dog. You feel what I'm saying? So uh and I'm not dissing Denzel because Denzel's a great, but Denzel didn't really become a great until he did Malcolm X. Because remember, he was supposed to be in the original Five Heartbeats. He was supposed to be in the original Five Heartbeats. So that lets you know, and mind you, Five Heartbeats, they didn't have stars like that in the Five Heartbeats. People became stars after the Five Heartbeats. So that kind of like lets you know, right? So, but yeah, that's for sure. My next Eddie Award goes to the movie Maximum Risk. Came out in 1996. I've seen this movie probably 10 times this year. It's a fire must-see movie if you haven't seen it already. Probably my second favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of all time. So this movie stars Jean-Claude Van Damme, Natasha Hernsridge, Zach Greiner, Stefano Milikovic, Gene Hughes, Angelad, and Paul Ben Victor. And again, this movie stars by Ringo Lam. Again, this movie is called Maximum Risk. Fire must-see movie. It's about a man who was it was a man who was running from some bad people, and he was trying to get away, and you have to see the rest of the movie. It is a must-see movie if you haven't seen it yet. Again, it's called Maximum Risk, and they get my Eddie for tonight, my second Eddie for tonight. And my third final Eddie Award goes to another movie I've probably seen over 10 times this year. Came out in 2025, directed by Ryan Coogler, Sinners. This movie stars Michael B. Jordan, Hallie Stansfield, Omar Benson Miller, Jam Lawson, Miles Caton, Delroy Lindo, Lou John Lee, and Wama Masako. Y'all already know the movie is Sinners. Sinners was a fire movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what rock you've been under. It's a must-see movie if you haven't seen it already. Some people don't like to watch movies when it first come out. But if you haven't seen Sinners yet, you're bugging out. It's a fire must-see movie about twins that come from Chicago, making their way back to the South, to the deep South, and you have to see the rest of the movie. It's a must-see movie. Again, so my 3 Eddie Awards go to these 3 must-see movies that I've seen the most this year. Again, number 1, Predator, Killer of Killers. Number 2, Maximum Risk. Number 3, Sinners. And those are my 3 Eddie Awards for those movies. All right, moving on to our next segment, our must-hear. I'm going to give y'all a fire artist to tap into. You already know how I do. Whether it's new or old, whether it's hip-hop or R&B, I'm going to give y'all some fire music to tap into. With a twist, these 3 songs, outside of my music, you know what I'm saying? But these 3 songs is the songs that I probably listened to the most this year. So these are Michael Awards. Y'all know who Michael is. MJ, Michael Jackson. So instead of giving out Grammys, we giving out Michaels tonight. So my first Michael Award goes to the R&B artist Link and his song called 911-0024. If you haven't heard the song before, it is top tier R&B. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm going to give y'all that good R&B. So again, my first Michael Award goes to the artist Link and his song 911-0024. My second Michael Award goes to an R&B group, a 3-piece, and their song called All the Love. It's a fire song, y'all. You know I'm going to give y'all that fire again. The group is called 3-piece, and the song is called All the Love. Next song, my next Michael Award goes to Colin England and his song 24/7. Again, his name is Colin England, fire, top tier R&B. And all of this is 90s R&B. So this is top tier R&B. You see what I'm saying? Again, his song called 24/7. So my three Michael Awards go to number one, Link, artist Link, and his song 9110024, R&B group 3-piece, All the Love, and number three, Colin England and his song 24/7. Fire must-have songs for y'all playlist if y'all want that top tier R&B on y'all playlist. And those are my three Michael Awards for tonight. Those are the three songs I listened to the most this year outside of my music. You feel me? All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. I'll send them to turkey or nah. I'll send them to turkey or nah. Y'all know the rules of this. We type in T to send them to turkey, and we type in N not to send them to turkey. The rules are simple. And again, shout out to both Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm cross-platforming tonight. So my first send them to turkey for the night. The mayor of San Francisco, Daniel Lurie, has signed a reparations bill. He's saying he wants to be the first white elected to push for compensation to Black Americans. Y'all know I hate that word black. To Black Americans for the lasting damage of slavery. However, the city don't have the funds to do it, but he urges Congress to help with the financial program that he wants to put through $5 million per Black resident. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Are we sending him to turkey or not? Are we sending him to turkey or not? Again, let me know what y'all think in the chat. That helps with the growth of the show. Type in T to send him to turkey. Type in N not to send him to turkey. Hit them 100s, hit them hearts, hit them 100s, hit them hearts. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12,000. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Music Guy in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in and tapping in. YouTube redacted your statement. It wasn't me. So I don't know what you said, but it was redacted. But yeah, hopefully you said something positive. But shout out to Rowan Jack. He said turkey. CC Motions, turkey. Ebony, not turkey. Condo on the fence. Sounds good always. Sounds good always, but are they really going to do it? Okay, so I got some people that want to send a statement to Turkey, and I got some people that don't want to send a statement to Turkey. Me personally, I'm sending this to Turkey. I'm sending this to Turkey. Mayor of San Francisco, Daniel Lurie. Do you think the cultured community is stupid? He really must think that. This ain't nothing but a strategy to gain cultured people on your side. And the reason why I say cultured, because y'all know I hate saying the word black, because that's not what we are. We're not 3/5 of a person or a people, so I don't say it. I don't like to use it amongst each other. I could go deeper into it. My usual people that's in here, they heard me say it 1,000 times. But the point that I'm making is that I think that he's strategically doing this because when most people that's cultured hear that somebody wants to do something for us, because we don't hear that often, it's very easy to get our attention, especially when it comes to them paper stacks, when it comes to that money on. But let's keep it real. He said it out his mouth. If y'all ever been to San Francisco is very expensive to live in. But as of right now, the economy has... the homelessness is crazy in San Francisco right now. So the level of opportunity. So you mean to tell me that you're gonna allow San Francisco residents to get $5 million per when the general population of homelessness is at its all-time high? Is he asking for a civil war? She's asking for a level of civil unrest like you have never seen ever. And the crazy thing about San Francisco, you have some of the most richest people in the world that lives in that sector, right? But there's a industry that caters to people that make that type of money in San Francisco. Now, when you have the government giving it out, which they're going to pay us what they owe us, it's not really they giving us something, they paying us what they owe us. But at the end of the day, that ain't nothing but a strategic ploy to get people to vote for him a second time around, because he just said that they don't have the money to do it. So how do you want to put something together and you don't have the funds to do it, don't have the resources to do it, don't have the actual hook to tap into a person, and they're gonna write a fat check to make all their dreams come true? Huh? This ain't nothing but a ploy. This ain't nothing for us to be like, oh, he's down with us. So whatever else that he got going on, knowing that he can't get it done, he got my attention. Maybe he could get my vote on something else. This is nothing but a strategic ploy, in my opinion. Shout out to X Band in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Appreciate you, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Shout out to D'Angelo. True, appreciate that, my dude. Yeah, it's crazy out here, no lie. Like, for those who know would know, San Francisco right now is going through a homelessness like no other. A lot of crime is going up. When people ribs start touching, they're going to start making moves. Have you ever seen a rat cornered and trapped? They're going to bite. So if people are hungry, starving, and don't see any type of light at the end of the tunnel, and now the government is, again, all they're going to hear is giving money away instead of giving what's owed. They're going to be like, but yo, I'm hungry. You mean to tell me that's not a program that can help us out either? I'm sending this to Turkey. I'm agreeing with y'all in the chat. I'm sending this to Turkey. These are for people that didn't want to send it to Turkey, but I'm sending this to Turkey on the first class flight. So that's where I'm at with this. All right, y'all, moving on to our next send them to Turkey or no, send them to Turkey or no. Again, y'all know the rules. Type in T to send it to Turkey. Type in N not to send it to Turkey. Rapper ASAP Rocky covers January rent for the residents of the Harlem building where he was raised. Rapper ASAP Rocky covers January rent for residents of the Harlem building where he was raised. Are we gonna send ASAP Rocky to Turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. What did he say? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, cross-platforming on both TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, so let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, yeah, I can't send ASAP to Turkey on this. I love this, me personally. This sounds like something straight from the heart. Him doing this for certain residents or the entire residents, I don't know. They just said residents of the building that he grew up in. Strategically, that makes sense because most people would spend majority of their money during Christmas time, and January it gets tight, right? So I love this because this does not feel like this have some sort of like just motives behind it. You know, we don't see ASAP Rocky campaigning for anything. We don't see ASAP Rocky. It like there's no ulterior motive that it feels, you know, like or whatever. And this could be somebody that he knows and that he cares for, and they just grew up in the same building as he did, and you know, it got out like, yo, he looked out. They was probably going through a rough patch. They could, you know what I'm saying? Either way, it got out, but it's still a solid thing to do. In the chat, what I'm seeing in the chat, good boy. Okay, I thought it was one family, no turkey for ASAP Rocky. It is paying it forward. Love that, Paul. Ebony, shout out to Ebony. No way. that is amazing. Oh, what he did for those people. Yeah, that's a fact. Again, it's unclear whether he did it for the whole building or for a few residents. Even if it's just for one resident, let alone the whole building, that's still a very solid thing to do that he doesn't have to do. Doesn't have to do. When you become successful, quite naturally, you want to give back because when people are successful, whether they want to give back or not, they just kind of naturally do it, right? Me personally, growing up, my mom used to like drag me to do things for the community that I could not stand as an 8 and 9 year old boy. I just wanted to chill, play with my toys. But as I got older, I understood the importance of it. My mom used to enlist me on Meals and Wheels. Yo, I'm trying to chill. Nah, we gotta go deliver this food. So as an adult man, it gave me a different type of appreciation and respect for that type of work of giving back and understanding how important it is, whether we want to do it or feel like doing it or not. And because of that, that being in my upbringing, when I see somebody that's down and out, I don't have a problem, doing. I just don't announce it. I've done quite a few things, and I've never put it on camera. I've never, filmed myself going to the homeless and bringing them bags of clothes or bags of food. So I just don't do that. Like, I remember one time my mother said that she seen me with a bag of clothes and a bag of food, and it was a homeless guy that I used to see all the time. And she said she was literally driving through, and she seen me give this guy 2 bags of this stuff. That's something that I did long ago. And they didn't stop there, but it just, when you give from your heart. And I don't say that to look for recognition. I'm saying that nobody knew this but my mom, because she seen it, right? And the man that I helped. So again, when you give from your heart, yo, because there's always somebody that could use the help. So somebody has said in the chat, when you pay it forward. So I love that. Shout out to shout out to Biggs. He said no, meaning don't send him to Turkey. Rowan Jack, God is making a comeback. That is a fact, Rowan Jack. I love that. I might get a t-shirt with that saying, God is making a comeback. I love that. Shout out to the TikTok as well. We have God and each other. The government doesn't give anything. They steal from one to pay another. That is a fact, man. That is, and when the San Francisco, mayor was talking about giving all cultured people $5 million a piece, that sound all well and dandy. But if y'all could give us $5 million a piece, how much did y'all really owe us, right? But that's neither here or there at this particular point. Again, the purpose is giving back and giving back from your heart. Shout out to Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Hit them hearts too. Helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, in the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. The military, the U.S. military has captured the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife after a raid on his, I hope I'm saying the name right, Caracas compound early Saturday morning early Saturday morning. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the U.S. military has captured the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife after a raid at his Caracas compound early Saturday morning. I probably pronounced those wrong, but y'all get the sentiment all the same. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to again TikTok and YouTube in the building. What I'm saying. CC, I couldn't believe it. I saw Trump like the world's Suge Knight for that. One dictator down. Oh man, y'all funny. While President Trump is a YN. Come on, like I told y'all, y'all not gonna start your stuff tonight. Y'all not gonna start your stuff tonight. I talk about President Trump is a YN. Like, come on, y'all not gonna start. Y'all talking about he Suge Knight too. Y'all not gonna start y'all stuff tonight. Alright? Y'all not gonna start. Alright? One dictator down. Y'all are funny. Hey man, y'all know my saying, you gotta go, man. It is what it is, dog. It is what it is. If you get caught doing BS, you gonna get rocked. And honestly, I know a lot of people don't rock with Donald Trump. I don't really rock with Donald Trump for real, basically because of his stance back in the 80s against the young men who was acquitted of GAPE. And he had put out a whole news spread about 5 young men that actually didn't do it, but he was persecuting them, and he took out a whole spread in Newsday, if I'm not mistaken, back in the 80s. So I don't rock with that. But I can respect his stance. So when he's coming from, it's like, yo, if you doing BS in U.S. time, yo, you gonna pay what you owe, whether it's time or whether it's money. What the old saying, we're gonna either get that cash or we're gonna get that ass. But we're gonna get something. What Denzel Washington say, we leave it with something. So I'm not mad at this. The main reason why he got it, most people don't understand that he was doing drug trafficking in the U.S. And that's what he's being obtained for, is drug trafficking charges. And I believe he's in New York right now, both him and his wife. So if he on BS time on U.S. soil, drug trafficking, and God knows what else, then yo, we're going to get that up out of you, bruh. Both you and your wife. Pause. Simple and plain. I love the space of time where the U.S. is finally saying it won't be shit if you don't start shit. Don't make us flex, bro. And I love that mindset. I love it. Because when we go to different places, we respect the places that we go to. When I go outside of the country, I don't go on USA time. I don't go say, yo, I'm big USA, what's happening? No, I ingratiate myself. I do what they do. I don't go there talking about, yeah, well, I'm used to the US, bro. I keep it cool. I keep it humble when I'm in other countries. So when you in our country, you abide by our rules. I talk about other rappers all the time when they go to other countries thinking they could go on USA time, and they realize they can't do the same thing there that they could do in the U.S. and they have to go back and do 13 months in jail, 2 years in jail, because you got to respect their time. So when you on USA time, if you're doing crime on USA time, guess what? You got to pay what you owe. So I'm not mad at this at all. Simple and plain. And I don't care who like it or who hate it or whatever the case may be. I'm just rocking with the fact that, yo, you play with us and we're going to show you. Shout out to the chat. Y'all going in the chat. My dog, Rowan Jack, thank you for the contribution. Just gifted the 5. I nominate Trump for an Eddie. Come on. Rowan Jack, stop. See, I told y'all. Y'all some idiots, man. Y'all really be trying to make me laugh on here, man. You know what I'm saying? I nominate Trump for an Eddie. And for those who don't know, that's my awards. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Grammys, instead of Oscars, we give our Eddies out here as an Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm saying? He's the standard. You know what I mean? So, Rowan Jack, you stupid, man. But yeah, so I love it, me personally. And if you hate it, that's on your time. You know what I'm saying? But I love the fact if you play with the U.S., you're going to see about the U.S. Moving on to our next hot topic. Rapper Drake is named in a federal RICO lawsuit alleging illegal gambling promotion, and streaming manipulation. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. It's again, I spoke on this prior to that. Even though this is new news, where Drake is named in his federal lawsuit, again alleging illegal gambling promotion and streaming manipulation. Y'all know Drake stayed in the top 100, right? Y'all know he stayed in the top 100, right? He's been the most streamed artist for the last 10 years as a rapper, right? Y'all know that, right? He has probably the second most songs on the Billboard in 2025. Probably had the second most. I believe he had like 23 songs on the top 100 Billboard. 23. So he's been named in a RICO for illegal gambling promotion and streaming manipulation. I'm just saying, can we put 2 and 2 together? So if you have streaming manipulation, is the top 23s really top 23s if it's not organic? And this is what opened up the can of worms for Drake before. And I said this before. When him and Kendrick had his battle, he was better off just taking the L. Because at that particular point, with whatever artist that you like, you was gonna still rock with that artist. So most people felt like Kendrick won that. Okay, all Drake had to do was continue to drop hits after that, and people would still rock with Drake. But because he took the legal route, feeling like the songs that Kendrick Lamar dropped, he felt like they was being boosted through bots. That opened up a can of worms because the same company that deals with Kendrick is the same company that deals with Drake. So what makes you think if that Kendrick had bots, you don't have no bots? Nah? So you mad because of what he's saying on the record? And because more people are listening to it, it puts you in a negative light? He was just better off taking the L, and now he's named in this RICO, and now all of these streaming manipulation, bot business is coming up regarding his music. Again, top streamed artist last 10 years. Top stream rapper last 10 years. So in none of those years, there was no streaming manipulation. I'm calling a spade a spade. This is not Drake hate. This is not, I don't do the hate. I don't have nothing to hate. This is not Drake hate. I'm calling a spade a spade. These are just logical questions. If he's in a RICO lawsuit, and in the lawsuit saying there's streaming manipulation, is it not fair to ask, did these streaming manipulation was a direct effect from his music that he dropped? It would have to be. It's rhetorical. Because you only could get streaming manipulation off the songs you drop. Make sense? Shout out to my TikTok too. Shout out to Ebony. Honestly, I haven't listened to Drake in a while. Again, y'all, this is not Drake hate. I don't do the Drake hate, and I'm not saying you're hating, but this is not Drake hate. I don't do that. Again, I'm asking a simple question. Shout out to Digital. He's been cheating. Shout out to Digital. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you for tapping in. Got the check. Big dog. Appreciate Digital for tapping in. Rowan Jack. It's all for show. Shout out to Fam in the building. Drake knew he should not battle Kendrick Lamar. This is a different animal you was dealing with. See, Again, the Kendrick Lamar and Drake diss records, it was best left alone, suited to the music. Because whatever the company did, that's it. You got Kendrick Lamar and Drake beefing, have records directly against each other. People are going to pay attention. Now, if the record label have both of y'all signed to their home label and they somehow beefed it up even more, so what their label was willing to do, that's an I bet. We're going to give you 2 million a song, give you 2 million a song. So that way, when the listeners go listen to it, they see 2 million. All right, well, share it. Yo, we got to bump this up to 200 million or whatever the case may be. How that's how it goes. That's how most of these songs are that are big are generated. So now you have this. So you mean to tell me in all of the 10 years that he's been the most streamed artist that they haven't been using the same format? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. These are just logical things that we could surmise. Again, y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s, hit them hearts. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Question. In today's rap music, do you want more lyricism or vibes? Again, that's the question, y'all. In today's rap music, do you want more lyricism or vibes? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. It's a good, solid question because, again, we just spoke about Drake. We just spoke about Kendrick. I think both Drake and Kendrick gives us a little bit of both in a way. I think Drake really gives more vibes. I think Drake really goes hard lyrically when he's on songs with other lyricists. When he's not on songs with other lyrics, he's going to give you vibes all day. Kendrick Lamar is always lyrical. He's always lyrical. He's not really a vibe kind of guy. Yeah. I think probably the most vibey song Kendrick Lamar has is probably Not Like Us. It's a very catchy song. But he's also dropping bars in it, though. It's not crazy bars, but it's enough bars to make you like it lands. All the bars that he hit. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Rich in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Who won the battle? Keep it real. Kendrick won to me. Kendrick won to me. Overall, he won. There were certain songs that I felt like Drake was better lyrically, but overall, Not Like Us, it ranged off. It ranged off. And it became a nuclear bomb. And once people rocked with it and it resonated with the people, meaning Not Like Us, the song, it was over. Simple and plain, because it resonated. Same thing how I think about Jay, not the same, but Jay-Z and Nas, not to go off on a tangent. Takeover is the best song out of that battle. But either it resonated, it rang out. In New York City, you know, Funk Flex put the bombs on it. But Takeover was a better song. I thought Super Ugly was probably the best overall lyrical diss record, but it didn't ring out. So Ether did, so it won. Kendrick Lamar. It was certain songs that Drake did. I was like, yo, that's kind of tough. But Not Like Us ranged out. And it ranged out differently. It was a super uppercut. And it was over. Down for the count, couldn't get back up, couldn't find his mouthpiece. None of that. It was over. It was over regarding that, for sure. Drake and Lamar. Drake and Lamar are less than. Who was that? Rich. Shout out to my dog, Rich. Give me the vibes, but still has to be clever. Shout out to Dirk Kelly. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. How about learning to play instruments and sing? Rock, blues, jazz. would be crap without the soul influence. Shout out to Dirk for that. Appreciate you, Dirk Kelly. Fam, the record label won the battle. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. They won the battle. Or strategic. They said Kendrick Lamar, if I'm not mistaken, made $109 million in 2025. So think about this. If he got 109, and if Drake didn't do what he did, how much Drake would have got? So if you are a company and you can write a check for 109 million for two people, let's just say for two people, right? Let's just say for two people. How much did you make? Think about that. If you're a company and you're an individual, this individual's in the chat. If you can give somebody $109 million, let's say you gave two people $109 million a piece, how much you think you made? How much you think you made? For a fact, the label won that. I agree with you, fam. I agree with you. Fact. Meet the Grams. It was game over. TKO. Shout out to Tyreek in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. TKO, fam. The Kendrick Lamar made 109 million. The record label made 1 billion or better. Y'all, it's simple mathematics. It's simple mathematics. If you can give somebody, write a check to two people, 109 million a piece, how much do you think you have? They not only did they make money in 2025, they're gonna make that money for the rest of their life. For the rest of their life. Those songs that they dropped as diss records is going to be around for a while, especially Not Like Us. It's going to be around for a while. So they have the ability to move it in a way and make the money back and make it tenfold because they have the relationships to leverage those songs with different companies to make that money. Why do you think they just gave The Weeknd $1 billion for his catalog? A company can pay you $1 billion for your music. How much do you think they're going to make? 1 billion. How much do you think they're going to make? Simple mathematics. Simple mathematics. That's dumbness down. You don't have a problem giving somebody $1 if you got $100 in your pocket. What's $1 to your 100? Let's say you give two people $1. That's how that divvies up. Simple math. Shout out to X Band in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in, my guy. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. Not Like Us is the first this song to win a Grammy. At the end of the day, regardless of the success of the song, meaning the accolades, right? The awards, right? The awards, it is what it is, right? It's the money. That money. How many artists that got Grammys at home but can't afford to pay their rent right now? So the awards is the awards. The accolades are the accolades. But that money hit different. Hit completely different. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Oh, before, let me put my spin on that. Because the question was, in today's rap music, do y'all want more lyricism or do y'all want more vibes? In the chat, I've seen a mixture of both. I've seen lyricism and vibes. Me personally, y'all know me, man. I'm a boss, man. I'm a boss smith. I got them vibes too, but I don't play with my bars. So when I listen to other artists, I want to hear bars. I want to hear wordplay. I want to hear double entendre, triple entendres. That's just me. That's just me. You know, when it comes to my music personally, I love to get vibey hooks, but the verses are going to be jam-packed with bars. So me personally, when I hear other people's music, I want to hear bars. And most people can't give you both. They can't. They can just give you bars. So when I listen to J. Cole, he gives me both. He gives me both. When I listen to Troy Ave, he gives me both. He gives me both. When I listen to Fabs give me them bars. He'll get somebody to sing the hook, but he gonna give me them bars. Who else? NBA Youngboy. In his own way, I say both. In his own way. And that's not a disrespect. What I mean is just not traditional bars. He's not going to hit me with traditional New York style bars. But in his way, he gets bars. But he throws out the vibe. Kendrick, definitely bars. He going to give you bars all day. Pause. Whoa. 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 That was crazy. That was crazy. Got caught slacking. That was crazy. But y'all get the point that I'm making. So me personally, I prefer bars in my music. Fam, Not Like Us. Okay, I got that one. This is the first one to perform at the Super Bowl. I'm Lyricist Junkie. You talking about Mishap, Fab, or Fabulous? No, I'm talking about Fabulous. You know what I'm talking about. Fobolous. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that Fab. My other guy, one of my favorites, Filthy Rich from Cali. He give me bars, but it's Cali style bars, or West Coast style bars, but it be hitting though, dog. You see what I'm saying? It be hitting. Then his hooks, it be so catchy. Like, yo, I bangs with Filthy Rich. Bangs with Filthy Rich. Shout out to the TikTok. Again, I'm cross-platforming on both TikTok and YouTube. Mozzie is the bar king. I like Mozzie. He definitely got them bars. I wouldn't say the bar king. Definitely got them bars. But again, music is subjective. I might not think he's the bar king. I may think I'm the bar king. I may think Kendrick is the bar king. I may think J. Cole is the bar king. And everybody would be right. Because it's preference based. It's preference based. That's all I'm saying. Jadakiss, come on. Jadakiss don't count, bro. He don't count. Jadakiss don't count. He don't count, bro. He don't count. Jadakiss has been doing this for over 30-some years. Jadakiss been doing this since I was a kid. He doesn't count. His microphone is in gold statue somewhere in hip-hop. He doesn't count. Jadakiss don't count. Jay-Z don't count. Styles P don't count. M.O.P. don't count as a group. Busta don't count. Like, these guys, Nas, these guys, their microphone is in gold in hip-hop, so they don't count. I'm not counting Jadakiss. That's a layup. It don't count. Don't count. Don't count. Everybody else is still making their way. It's still making their way. Even though Kendrick, from a lot of people, they feel like he's a GOAT or he's a legend already, and I'm not going to dispute that. That's crazy. I won't dispute somebody else's greatness. To me, J. Cole is a standard, bro. Boy, is nice. J. Cole always give me something that I could do. Like, yo, that's fire, dog. That's fire. Anytime I listen to J. Cole, like, when I get in the booth, I gotta come up with like fake beefs to get, you know what I'm saying, to give y'all that. You know what I'm saying? Because boy be going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'm going with the bars. The chat's going with bars. I've seen a little bit of the vibes in the chat as well too. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Cleveland Browns Myles Garrett breaks the single season sack record with 23 sacks. Big time. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat, man. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. On the road to 20,000 subscribers, we're a little over 12. So again, hit them likes, subscribe, show major love. There's also membership portions in the page. Different memberships is granted different access, so take advantage. We got quite a few of the members in the chat, super badged up. And I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. But let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Cleveland Browns Myles Garrett breaks the single season sack record with 23. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, man, Myles Garrett, this has been an amazing year. Even watching this man do what he do, to be at his position, the dude is swolled up, and to move like he moves, the quickness, the footwork, the strength, technique, speed. He's just been a straight matchup nightmare for every team. And you have to scheme around this man every game. So I believe this is an unbelievable record. Me personally, I remember watching Michael Strahan get the sack record. And a lot of people gave him flack for that because they felt like, was it Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre that gave up the sack? I think it was Brett Favre that gave up the sack for him to get that record. But, you know, it was still well-deserved by Michael Strahan. And they had mentioned that that was over 20 years ago. I'm like, 20 years ago? Dog, how old am I? 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, yeah, you 41, bro. And it just blew my mind. It's like, yo, that was 20 years ago. So to see Myles Garrett come at this point in time in this football league where you can't hit the quarterback, you put him down too hard, you get a flag, you sniff on him too long, you get a flag. I mean, for him to do this is a major accomplishment. And people don't realize how hard to get that many sacks. These are the best of the best in the world. And if it took over 20 years to see the sack record get beat or broken the way it has, it might be another 20-some years till we see it again. So think of how many players that were great players, great defensive ends, great outside linebackers that couldn't break that record. So shout out to Myles Garrett for winning that sack record. Myles Garrett is the new era of Lawrence Taylor. I wouldn't go that far, but he's close. He's close. He's close. I wouldn't go that far because, again, I'm a bit of a stickler for position. LT was a outside linebacker, and LT, even though he may have been a little smaller than Myles Garrett, pause. But LT, like Myles Garrett is up here. LT is, you know what I'm saying? He like right there. You know what I'm saying? It's not neck and neck, but it's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like LT was LT, dog. You know what I'm saying? But he's close. But I get the point that you're making. Your point was still well made, my dog Fanbo. So point well taken. But I get what you mean by saying this era's LT. I get what you're saying. He's a scary dude. He's a scary dude. And then mind you gotta remember, what's my dude that retired not too long ago? The defensive tackle. Oh God, Aaron Donald. That was a bad boy too. So, but Myles Garrett, man. So this leads me to my next question. Should Myles Garrett win the MVP? That's my next question. Should Myles Garrett win the MVP? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, shout out to my TikTok and shout out to my YouTube cross platform. And let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Myles Garrett is the new era Lawrence Taylor. The Aaron Rodgers going into the playoffs. He sent Lamar home. Okay, so the Ravens blew their shot. I missed that one, Fanboy, when we spoke about the rappers. Sorry, missed that comment. Shout out to Biggs. Do we are there up? Do we are there up? I don't Biggs redo that one. Reggie White, the deacon out. Reggie White's a beast, dog. Reggie White's a beast. If I had to pick top 5 players of all time for my defense, it would go such and thou. Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Deion Sanders, Derek Thomas, Ray Lewis. If I had to start my defense, that's what I'm starting my defense with. LT, Reggie White, Deion Sanders, Derek Thomas, Ray Lewis. For facts. For facts. Shout out to X who? No Troy Polamalu. No. Troy Polamalu, great player. Great player, Hall of Famer. But there's quite a few safeties I'm taking before Troy Polamalu. It's quite a few. Quite a few. Not a whole lot, but it's quite a few. I'm taking Ed Reed before him. I'm taking Ronnie Lott before him. I love Rod Woodson at free safety. I know he played corner at the first part of his career, but Rod Woodson at free safety was a different type of beast. He was just as good as a corner, but he was different as a free. So I'm taking him over Troy Polamalu. And I know he didn't play for a long time because he passed away. But Sean Taylor was just something different. So I'm taking Sean Taylor before Troy Polamalu. Other than that, Troy Polamalu is like right there for me. He's right there for me. John Lynch was a super duper hitter, but I'm not taking John Lynch. He can't cover. He wasn't good in coverage. I'll say that. He wasn't good in coverage. They created the Tampa 2 defense for a reason. But he'll come up and put one on you. I'll probably take Steve Atwaters before I take John Lynch. But John Lynch is still a great player. So I don't want to make it seem like he's not a great player. Are we getting up there in age, fam? Yeah, bro. Yeah. It is what it is, man. Me personally, when I was in my 20s, I cared to like, damn, I'm going to be 40 one day, yo. And now that I'm 41, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care to say, yo, I'm not even embarrassed to be like, yo, I'm not in my 20s. Yeah, nah, B. And my 20s came with a whole lot of drama, dog. It came with a whole lot of misunderstanding. It came with a whole lot of me trying to prove instead of being what I am. And in your 20s, it's a big mind F in your 20s. When you get to your 30s, you start understanding life. You cut out the drama. You understand money and what it's meant for. Yeah, I don't care about being 41, bro, at all. At all. You know what I'm saying? I drink my water. I stay working out. You know what I'm saying? Your life is blessed. Life is blessed. I don't have every single thing, but life is blessed. So, yeah, we're getting older, but we're getting better. Dick Tracy was a better safety. Yo, you stupid. Who's that 5 Lom? You older than me, so you probably know and seen more. Shout out to X. Ronnie Lott, Rod Woodson, Darren, Sherry, Ed, Reed. That's a good group. You mean Deron Landry? Because I see Sherry. So shout out to J.E. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit them 100s. But yeah, I like my safeties having ability to cover. And see, Ed Reed, he knew how to disguise it. They play a 3-4, but he gonna line in the 4-3 or out of the alignment. Like, yo, bro, what are you doing over there? He like, chill, don't worry about that, baby. When they call hike, I'm gonna be at my spot. That's why Ed Reed used to get all them damn picks, believe it or not, because he used to disguise it. And shout out to that team Ed Reed was on. If y'all thought Miami was good now, when Ed Reed was in Miami, that defensive backfield was crazy. Do your research. Ed Reed, there was a cornerback named Myers. There was another cornerback named Blades, and there was another cornerback. Oh my God, the other corner was super nice. His name is escaping me right now, but all four of them went to the league, all in the first round. They were super nice, super nice. Isn't John Lynch Christian McCaffrey's dad? Nah, man. Christian McCaffrey's dad is Ed McCaffrey, bro. Oh, you said I'm joking. Okay. Shout out to Biggs. He said facts. I mean, if you kid, that would be an issue. I don't think anybody kids once they reach 40. Never heard somebody jumping off the bridge because of it. I disagree. Up and down our social media, you see people who have arrested development. So I disagree. You have people that have a problem being older. And what I mean by arrested development is their mindset. It's not how they dress and how they talk. Whatever makes you feel comfortable is what makes you feel comfortable. But what I mean by arrested development, you see a lot of guys in their later 40s and later 50s still trying to prove something as if they was in their teenage years, their 20 years. A lot of my adolescent years, teenage years, I was doing things I wasn't supposed to do. I regret a lot of my decisions. And at the end of the day, yo, man, I can't tell you, like, God has brought me in a way. So a lot of these people didn't do these things. It wasn't active, and they feel like they got a point to prove now. And yeah, that's the arrested development that I'm talking about. So I disagree with that. A lot of people do have a problem with their age, you know, and you see, like, you see it. Yeah, even some of the women, it look crazy out here. And so I disagree, but I hear what you're saying though. For people who are confident in themselves, don't have a problem with turning 40 because we did a lot of the things that, good and bad, we were supposed to do. We had experiences. Yeah, for sure. I'm 32, and ever since I turned 29, I've been thinking differently. That's a fact. Ed McCaffrey is Christian McCaffrey's dad. Shout out to Rowan Jack. He just gifted the chat 5 memberships. Thank you, Rowan Jack, man. Appreciate you as always for supporting the show. Our longest badge holder that we've had, Rowan Jack, man. And again, for them 26 memberships, we probably at 20 so far. We at 20 so far, so we 6 memberships away for everybody that's been getting memberships and contributing to the membership portion of the page. So I appreciate that, because remember, we said for the New Year's it'll be 26 for the new memberships, and we had 10 that night. So we five away from the goal. No, we had 15 that night. So we 5 away from the goal. So again, shout out to Rowan Jack for that, man. So yeah, some of y'all been gifted some memberships. So send my good dude, my bro Rowan Jack some love, man. Appreciate that. So again, I think Myles Garrett should win the MVP award. I think he should win the MVP award. 23 sacks. 23 sacks. Again, this record hasn't been touched in over 20 years. And let's keep it real. There's no offensive player this year in the NFL that make you feel comfortable calling them MVP. None of them. They play good. Some of them play real good. I don't feel comfortable calling Sam Darnold MVP. I don't feel that way. The young quarterback on Pittsburgh, on the Patriots, going crazy, playing so good. Without him, they wouldn't be playing as well as they are. Drake May. MVP? Nah. No. This is the year where a defensive player should win the MVP. This is the year where the NFL should actually give the MVP to the best player of the league. Last year, even though it was well deserved, last year I felt it should have went to Saquon because without his contribution, Philly wouldn't have been Philly at all. They would have been all right, but they wouldn't have been like that. And my team would have lost to them. You know what I'm saying? I feel a kind of way. But respect is still due to Saquon because of him. It took him to a whole nother level. The NFL cannot always be a The NFL MVP cannot always be a quarterback award. Can't. If guys, you have to reward guys for having these great seasons, especially when these seasons are far few in between. Like, when's the next time we're going to get another 2,000-yard rusher like we did with Saquon? And mind y'all, Saquon could have bodied that record. He chose to sit out against the Giants at the end of the year. And then during the year, he wouldn't take himself out, but the coach would ask him, like, yo, you want to stay in and continue to cook? Or like, he like, nah, man, let the other guys eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already got like a buck and change. Let the other guys eat. So you got to reward guys for having these great seasons that are not easy to accomplish. It's much easier in the NFL for a quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards opposed to a running back rushing for 2,000. It's much easier for a quarterback to throw 4,000 yards opposed for a defensive player getting 23 sacks. So this is the year a defender should win this award, and Myles Garrett should win the MVP this year in the NFL. Shout out to Biggs, Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins was nice. He was nice. He was nice for sure. He's a maniac, but he was nice. But you got to be a maniac. Brian Dawkins wasn't a big dude, but you know he had to be a maniac to play at his size. What about Jaguars? Yo, fam, you stupid. He said Jaguars kicker Cam Little, who kicked 60-yard field goal in preseason and 67-yard in regular season. Yeah, nah, we ain't gonna ever see a kicker get that, bro. I don't care. Nah. The only way we'll ever see a kicker win the MVP in the NFL if he's repeatedly, game in, game out, kicking 75-yard field goals, and he's averaging like 6 field goals a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't never gonna see that. And everybody else had to have really down years to see a kicker win this. That's just bad for the sport. You know what I'm saying? He gonna win the kicker award, but MVP, nah, be cool like how you be cool. That's how they gonna treat that kicker. Like, yeah, go sit in the back. You know what I mean? We're gonna make sure you get some mac and cheese at the cookout. You know what I mean? You cool. You know what I'm saying? You straight. Yeah, they not giving no kicker no MVP. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Our boxing champion. Boxing champion Wilder. Right? Deontay Wilder. Boxing champion Deontay Wilder says he stepped up not as a stepdaddy, but as a father to his then fiance son, even added him and them, meaning his fiance and her son, to his will before he was told by that son, "You are not my daddy." Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, boxing champion, former boxing champion Deontay Wilder says that he stepped up to the plate as not a stepdad, but as a father to his then fiance son, even added them, meaning again his fiance and her son, to his will before he was told, "You are not my daddy." Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Rowan Jack sent him to Turkey. Yo, you stupid. He said send him to Turkey. Send that kid to Turkey. I agree with send that kid to Turkey. Biggs said, wow. Lawrence Taylor was the last defensive player to win MVP in 1986. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Not to go off topic, but Derek Thomas had a shot before he passed away. Remember, he passed away in a car accident, in a motorcycle accident, and he had the shot that year. He was going crazy. Po thing, bless his step crash daddy heart. Po thing, bless his step daddy crash heart. Y'all are ruthless, yo. Y'all are ruthless. Facts. Got him. Kicker did win NFL MVP 1982. I have to look that up, JE, but if that's true, we're not going to see that in today's NFL. That is a fact. If that's true, I got to look that up. But yeah, we won't see that in today's NFL. Wilder should have been like, then what you doing in my house? Out. Shout out to CC. Shout out to CC. I have to say this, ladies. When you're dealing with a man and you have a child or children by another man, if you want your children to respect the new man, you have to show the suitable respect for the original man, meaning the dad. Simple and plain. Nothing hard about that. There's nothing extra that you have to do. In order for the children to respect your new man, you have to respect the original, meaning the father. Even if y'all was never together and it was a situation. If your children sees discord between you and the child's father or the ex-husband or your ex-boyfriend who happens to be the father of your children, if they see the respect, your children will respect the new guy because they know nothing else. They're children. Their frontal lobe haven't been developed. That's why children is easy to manipulate. Why do you think most things that the culture and the things that's popular culture and the things that people watch, they have manipulation tactics that they put in movies, that they put in shows, where they drive the agenda. They want it to start young. They do it with colors. They do it with characters. And in real life, if you don't have the respect of your children's dad, the children will not respect the new guy. And I'm not talking about the exception, because there's going to be plenty of exceptions out here. This is the norm, because children is going to feel like they have to pick and choose. There's nothing wrong with mom wanting to move her life along. There's nothing wrong with dad for wanting to move his life along with somebody new. But there has to be a respect level for the original. Without that, it's going to be very hard for a child to believe that he can maintain a respect level for both and understand everybody's role. Meaning, he's not trying to be new dad. You already have a father, but you have to have the respect of this man who is playing a role of a father figure. And some people say, what's the difference? Easily. I have a dad. I grew up with a father. But I had other father figures in my life because I played sports. I grew up boxing. I had to listen to other men. I played football. I had to listen to other men. My father wasn't my coach. I played basketball. I ran track. I had to listen to other men who was also strong with direction, had their own families. Father figure. So when you're dealing with a man and you're intimate with him, if you don't have the proper respect of your children's dad, whether he's ex-husband, boyfriend, or situationship, it's going to be very hard for them to respect the guy that you're with. So now the guy that you're with, Deontay Wilder, it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. because he was willing to play step crash dad, like they said in the chat, and at the end of the day, he had nothing to show for it. He even was willing to put them on or in his will. And what makes it doubly weird or funny is that God forbid something was to happen to him when they was cashing and they would have cashed them checks. That little boy wouldn't have said, "Well, he ain't my dad." He would have been cashing them checks like, "Yo, rest in peace to, excuse me, to Mr. Deontay. Rest in peace." He was cool because he was transactional. If there's not respect level, ladies, the children get their cue from you. The children get their cue for you. Same thing with fathers. If you're dealing with a new woman, the children get their cue from you. So if you don't respect your daughter's mom, your ex-wife, or your situationship, it's going to be very hard for that child, your son, your daughter, to respect the relationship that you're in. Simple. Simple. So I'm not surprised that this happened to Deontay Wilder, because it is a learning curve, especially with men with money. Because most men with money feel like the rules don't apply. And because they feel like they got a big check, no, you're a bigger sucker. Because you looked at as a check. You looked at as an easy mark. People can manipulate you by playing on your feelings. They know you got it. Yeah, I know you got it. Come on, like, what's a few dollars, man? What's a few dollars? So at the end of the day, gotta move and do better. Gotta move and do better. Shout out to Rowan Jack. How old was that kid? They didn't specify the age, but honestly, I don't. It matters, but it doesn't matter, because again, it starts with the lessons you get at home. When a child is 9 to 12, frontal lobe is not developed. So they repeat what they see. Even if they inherently don't want to do it or don't, it's still a respect level. Why do you think if you put your children somewhere like in private school and they have a no, they have a no tolerance, low tolerance for misbehavior, meaning like they whoop ass, they get the rulers and they do the spanking, and you start seeing your child act right a little bit. If you have your child with a lot of old folks and things of that nature, there's a different type of respect that the child learns from that old folks, because their frontal lobe is not developed yet. They do as they taught. So it's a simple fix. It's a simple fix. Shout out to Fam. I missed a couple comments. Let me go back up. Shout out to Fam. He got that badge, big badge holder. I would have sweet. Biggs is stupid. I would have sweet chin music for that kid. Yo, y'all trying to get me. Yo, y'all trying to get me cackling tonight. He said I have sweet chin music for that kid. Shout out to CC Wilder. Should have been like, okay, I got that. What you doing in my house? Get out. That's a fact. I don't play disrespect in my house either. But I wouldn't deal with a woman who have children. That's just me. I kill guts, but I won't, make a life. NFL kicker Mark Mosley won as a Redskin back in 1982. Okay, yeah, but we're not gonna ever see that again. Not in today's NFL. It's bad for business. 1982, the games were still pre-recorded. You know what I'm saying? It's bad for business. You know what I'm saying? NFL, you got to have like 8 subscriptions to get one NFL game. Not going to happen in this NFL. But, I love the true fact. You educated me on something. Appreciate that. And I say that sincerely. I don't say that dismissingly. For his remarkable consistency in Dutch kicking. I think I know who you're talking about. I think he used to kick with no shoe. I think I know who you're talking about. CC, exactly. How old is the kid? So I got that one. Lady and man, don't talk down on then around the kids. Y'all need to respect each other. Put your feelings to the side. Put your feelings to the side. Yeah, so I agree. And then again, most people don't know how to communicate. And now when you throw children, most people don't know how to communicate in front of children because their childhood hasn't been resolved. So it's a really ongoing cycle when people don't get the proper healing. And most times, by the time kids get bad habits from adults, is before they get their healing, which is the craziest. Like even myself, like I'm 41, I have a daughter that's 22. So I was a baby when I had my daughter. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that, I did as a dad that I wouldn't do as a dad today if I have a younger child. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is at this point. There's no book to parenting for real. All you can do is do your very best. And that's for all the people with kids. All the people with kids, y'all know what I'm talking about. There's nothing such thing as perfect. Because as a parent, all you do is like for real, is give your kids or try to give your kids a better upbringing that you had. Whether both good and bad. And sometimes the things that you didn't get as a kid, you overindulge to your children. There is no too much or too little according to you. It's according to your children. Because you could do too much and don't realize you're doing too much for your children. Because at the end of the day, as a parent, and only parents understand with children, kids you can't give back, that the difference between the lesson and what they take from it is a difference. There's a difference between your intention as a parent and the lesson that they receive. So it's not an easy thing to do, but points are still well made. And some lady won't let the daddy see their kids unless you're going to be with them. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. But there's a lot of disrespect on both sides. But the main thing to this in particular, if you show the respect for the mother, for the father, whatever side you on, both man and woman, when you have children and you don't work out, you still have to maintain that respect. You still have to speak as one voice. So that way, when you get into another situation and you try to move your life along, it's much easier for the child because you have respect for his mother, or for ladies, for his father, that it's going to be easier for him to respect the person that you love moving forward. So that's the main lesson from this. Shout out to Rowan Jack. All right, fam. Have school in the morning. Appreciate you, Rowan Jack, as always, man. Solid as always. My guy, again, appreciate your contribution. Been doing the damn thing with the chat all night long, as always. Yeah, man. And y'all, don't forget to send y'all them thank yous, man. He gifted quite a few, fam. Just sent thank you. Make sure y'all send some thank yous to Rowan Jack, man. He gifted quite a few of y'all in the chat, man. Big time Rowan Jack, one of our longest holding members of the podcast, man. Thank you. All right, so moving on to our next hot topic. Actor Will Smith sued by violinist Brian K. Joseph for SA and wrongful termination. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, actor Will Smith is sued by violinist Brian K. Joseph for SA. Y'all know what SA means, and wrongful termination. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. It's a lot of love, man. It's a lot of love in the building, man. Me personally, when I look at this, honestly, it's like we keep hearing different things, right? And my thing is this. Whatever, all right, so we in 2026 now. If people have same-sex proclivities, it's cool, bro. It's cool. Live your life like that if that's the case. Ain't nobody going to judge Will if he is. And this is alleged. If he is not, I'm a big proponent. If he is not, don't put something on me that is not me. I will sue your ass. Simple and plain. because you're taking away the real struggle for people that live like that. And the reason why I say it's not a big deal in 2026, because it's not. If you have same-sex energy, then that's your business. That's your business. Who you choose to roll around in your bedroom is your business. But now when people make your situation public by saying these accusations, this is not the first time we've heard accusations associated to Will Smith allegedly based on same-sex activities. Will Smith has said it out his own mouth, and this is not alleged. He did a movie back in the day called, I believe, 6 Degrees of Separation, where he played a same-sex character. And he said out his own mouth that he struggled with that character because it took him several months after to get out of character. What do that mean? If you've seen 6 Degrees of Separation, what do that mean? 1 + 1 = 2. So again, whether he dibble and dabbles, it's his business. But when it's led to the public by Brian K. Joseph, you have questions. People want to know. People want to know. People want to know who they're gifting to. Just like the same reason when people go to church, they want to know if the pastor is living the life that he's preaching. People want to know. When you go to an NFL game, you really want to know if Myles Garrett is really 6'5", 285 pounds and move the way that he does. People want to know. They want to know if you're authentic. So am I surprised at these allegations? I'm not surprised only because it's been a history of these allegations of same-sex activity. That's not alleged. That's in the history. I don't even have to say alleged regarding that. His name has been associated to many different situations. Whether it's wrongful termination, I think that we're going to hear more details regarding that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. If he lives that way, he might as well just come out and say it. Now if he does, nobody could charge him for these allegations for real. It's like, yo, how he charging me? I'm moving how I'm moving. I came on to dude and he was like, nah, chill. I was like, yo, you sure? And he was like, yeah, but all right, cool. I left him alone. Ain't no more charges. Ain't no more charges. Now, if he lives this life and denies it, then you're going to continue to get charges. Now, if he doesn't live this life, and just because he's famous, he's a target, and people, because his name has been in so many different allegations, he's an easy target at this point, so they're going to continue to railroad his name, then fight it. Fight for your name. If that's not what you're about, then fight for your name. Simple and plain. Because his activities is being made public. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Is Brian Jada's new name? You stupid, Rowan. You stupid, Rowan. Okay, that's the last. Oh, man, you stupid. Ebony. Will back on the hunt. Laughing my ass off. Just kidding. Eye for an eye. Shout out to Eye for an eye. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes. Hit the 100s. Stay engaged. It helps with the growth of the show. That 6 Degrees movie was his coming out break role. Shout out to Eye for Eye. You funny, man. You funny. Money Johnson. Appreciate you for tapping in. CC Will in real life is Carlton Banks. That's why Payday had her. That's why Payday had her entanglement. She got tired of them. Oh my God. Yo, Eye for Eye, you up here cooking already. You up here cooking already. But believe it or not, y'all, believe it or not, fun fact, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the story of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is actually from Mariah Carey's husband or first husband, what was his name? Something with an M. Mateo, Madonna, something. Her first husband. He was a music guy, and the Fresh Prince was actually about him. And kind of, sort of, 6 Degrees of Separation has some of his parts in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because it was a little bit of both, because I think his name is Mateo, something like that. But I know for a fact that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is based on his upbringing. So I forget his name, but it was Mariah Carey's first husband, because she's been married 3 times, right? It was the first guy that I'm talking about. Then it was Nick Cannon. Then it was the other guy from another country, and supposedly he was married to her for a whole year, and she didn't give up no box. Yo, I don't be understanding dudes that marry women, they don't get no box. Like, what are we talking about? And said that he had to pay her like $5 million to marry her. Something crazy. So you gave her $5 million, they get no type of box? You coming up off all of that. Off all of that. Before I even date you. What? Yo, you coming up all the box for a date, let alone marriage, and give you 5 M's on top of that, and I ain't getting no box. Yo, they be catching the right dudes with this. They be catching the right dudes with this. That's all I gotta say. They catch the right dudes with this. Shout out to CC, Jada. Jada shouldn't have been in G.I. Jane 2. Y'all are stupid. It's that she played Pithead from the Hellraiser. Y'all are, yo. Ashley, give her any. Yo, y'all gotta chill, yo. Y'all gotta chill. Like, I almost got tears coming out my eyes. Y'all gotta chill. I'm dead serious. Y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill. Yo, Cece, you gotta chill, bro. Shout out to my TikTok. Shout out to my TikTok. I'm cross-platforming, but yo, y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill. Eye for an eye. I wonder what DJ Jazzy Jeff think about that. Or think about this. All of this. I mean, when somebody's your friend and you grow up with them, I mean, do their activities really bother you if they're your friend? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're your real friend, regardless of what they do their activities really bother you? So I honestly don't think in the real world he probably don't think nothing of it. It's like, yo, the world is just seeing whatever that we think we see. You know what I'm saying? He living a real life with them. You know what I mean? So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. The alcohol industry has lost over $830 billion in the last 4 years because millennials and Gen Z are drinking less than past generations. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the alcohol industry lost over 30 billion in the last 4 years as millennials and Gen Z are drinking less than past generations. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Will always putting his hands on a man. I mean, it's a dude, right? He ain't wilding up women, right? You know what I'm saying? Dudes better knuckle up, you know what I'm saying? Bob and Weave, do something, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember, Will Smith played Ali, you know what I'm saying? Will Smith was what, 6'2", maybe like 215, 220? You know what I'm saying? That's a fight for your life, you know what I'm saying? You better really know how to fight messing with Will. You know what I mean? But again, these are just allegations. These are just allegations with the violinist. But let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Ebony. We smoke though. Y'all are stupid. Y'all are stupid. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I haven't drink drank in a while. Me personally, it's been quite a few years. It's been quite a few years. Um, yeah, so I haven't drunk in a long time. I would say we're in 2026. Ugh, it's been at least over 6 years since I had a drink. So, for sure, for sure. I would say COVID, before COVID, like right before COVID, I took my last drink. So I believe this. I'm seeing less and less people who are millennials and who are Gen Z drinking less and less. But when I go to the club, people are pouring it up, buying bottles, going crazy. So I always would think I always thought that we was the minority in that, but is 830 billion, is that inflated or is that real? Because that's a lot of money, 830 billion dollars. Um, but I will say this: back in my 20s, before I got into music, or right before I got into music as an artist, um, I worked at a club bartending, and that was a part of the culture. People bought bottles. I drunk. But that was a part of the Friday night, the Saturday night, the Thursday night, the Wednesday night experience. Go out, have a good time, buy bottles. We even had the little nip bottles, and people used to buy that. Had wine coolers. People would get tipsy to have a good time. I will say this: I don't want to sound like the old dude, but like in my era of 20s, we actually got dressed. Like when we went out, we wasn't looking homeless at the club. Put on our nicest fit. We bought drinks, listened to great music, meet women, to have sex, have a good time. That was always the goal. And not bragging, but it was successful. So I say that to say this: the club experience now, people are posing maybe like they're drinking, but they really not drinking. And it's just really a vibe because people are getting sections. But to get the sections, you gotta buy bottles. And it's very easy to go through a bottle when you got 8 people at your table. I mean, that's what, like half a glass. If you pour half a glass for 8 people, y'all barely getting a bottle of Moet. Like, and I'm talking about a full bottle at that. So that's kind of not shocking to me. Shout out to Vic in the building, my dude. Vic, one of our big badge holders. Let's go, champ. Appreciate you for tapping in, my dude. Uh, DeAndre Pittman in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. You look like the guy who benches 400 easy but needs a ride home when the gym closes. Not really. Not to brag, I do have a nice vehicle. The marijuana industry picked up the lost revenue from the liquor industry. I believe that. Yeah, they said that in the chat as well too. I believe that eye for an eye. I mean, people are smoking by and large. By and large. DeAndre just joking. Come on, bro. You don't gotta say you joking, bro. Like, come on, man. This is love up here, man. This is love. Shout out to my TikTok too, as well. This is love up here. This is love. Come on. But yeah, by and large, we definitely see more people smoke doing. It just like smoking now, because you got the inhalers, you got the hookah, you have the what's the other one where you could. It's not even. It don't feel like real smoke or what. Not me. I don't smoke, but I've seen people like inhale it, and then it's like a subliminal thing or whatever. I forget the actual name of it, but you're seeing people doing that as well. So smoking is very marketable now. Back in the day when I was coming up, when I was like, a kid in the 90s, smoking was very frowned upon. Very frowned upon. That wasn't a sexy thing. Like my brother era is like, if you smoked, it was kind of like vape. That's what it is. Thank you, DeAndre. Vapes. I couldn't think of the word vapes. But back in the 90s, people was like, yo, you smoke weed, you smoke reef. Like, it was like a real frowned upon thing. Now, smoking is a very cool thing. You got different strands, you got different ways to do it. It's a cool thing. Drinking back in those early 90s was the sexy thing. You know, everybody feels smooth and ah. It's a real sexy thing. But now, drinking doesn't feel as marketable because we're seeing people crash out at the club and put their life on the line when they get them spirits in them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's them spirits. So, shout out to I for Nah. Nah, he looks like that dude in the back. Yeah, for a fact. You know what I'm saying? For a fact. Different era has different psychology. Now, that's a fact. That is a fact. And it all depends on the marketing. And marketing for the 90s was drinking. Now, it's definitely smoking, for sure. For sure. And and it was crazy before the drinking and before the smoking, back in the 70s was what? It was sex. That the free love and, you know what I'm saying, the psychedelic and all that. People was getting sexed up and sexed out, you know what I'm saying? All types of ways. So, you know, each era has its thing. You know what I mean? So that's for sure. And it's also reflected into the music too, because in the 90s, a lot of artists will say, yeah, I got the Moet, I got the Shandon. And now you hear artists talking about, yo, I got the strand. You know what I'm saying? So it's very marketable now. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. My pick six is in. NFL pick six is in. And my college football picks is in. First game I called number 5, Oregon versus number 4, Texas Tech. I said Oregon will win that game. They did 23-0. Oregon looks good, y'all. They look good. The next game is going to be tough, but they look good. I'm going to give the new picks this Wednesday on who will win the next game. But that Oregon versus Texas Tech game, a great game, a very hard-hitting game. Oregon has a true freshman cornerback. Y'all, he's going to be the next one up. I have his name on my list, but I don't have the list in front of me. But he wears number 4, if I'm not mistaken. He's a true freshman. He was so good and hitting people so hard. I said, yo, who's this dude? My Kansas City Chiefs could use a guy like this next year. And they say he a true freshman. I was like, damn, we got to wait 2 more years. So, but Oregon is a good team. Texas Tech was out there hitting hard, but they couldn't generate enough points to play against Oregon. Next game I called number 9, Bama versus number 1, Indiana. I said Indiana will win that game. They did 38-3. Man, Indiana was all over Bama. Bama could not do anything. And I keep telling y'all that SEC is not the best conference in college football. I've been saying this for years. Everybody like, yo, Ash, you crazy. And every time I say something, because it's not the most popular thing to say, people think I'm bugging. But the SEC in the bowl season have been getting their ass beat. Getting the dog snot kicked out of them. I kid you not. The SEC has won 2 games in bowl season. Mind you, they had over 9 teams go bowling? Over 9 teams. They won 2 games. 2. And mind you, Ole Miss just beat Georgia. Ole Miss just beat Georgia. So that's 2 SEC teams right there. And Texas beat us, my Michigan. And they had no business beating us. They won in the 4th quarter because Underwood threw some otherwise interceptions. But anyway, but the SEC belted ass to y'all this year. Belted ass. And Bama, nobody's afraid of Bama anymore. The Nick Saban era is over. And the reason why that's important is because Nick Saban, before the NILs, he used to get guys or the best players be like, yo, I know the system to get to the NFL. So you need to come to Bama. And now guys are not going to Bama just because it's Bama. Like, yo, what's up with the money on? What's up with the bread? And that's why you're seeing a shift in college football, a big part of it, because of that money. So nobody's afraid of Bama. And when you have a Nick Saban, that means the whole conference gets stronger. Because now if you can't go to Bama, you're going to go to Ole Miss, because the way scouts look at it, NFL scouts, if you play against Bama and you have a good game, then you're worth getting drafted. See how that works? So it helps LSU, Ole Miss, Florida, and all the other teams in the SEC that's been known to be pretty good. Bama got belt to ass. Next game I called was Ole Miss versus Georgia. I said Georgia will win this game. I thought Georgia was the better team. Georgia lost. They lost 39-34. It was a close game, but Ole Miss really stuck to their guns in this game. They really stuck to their guns. They played solid defense when they needed to, and offensively, the quarterback Chambers made some remarkable passes when they needed it the most. So I lost that game 39-34. Shout out to the chat, man. Difference. Oh, okay, I got that one. Shout out to Jay Graham in the building. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit the 100s. Shout out to aficionado. That's why when people get drunk, they say, "What I wasn't myself," is because the alcohol spirit was over them. P.S. I'm a boxing fan. I'm lost on this subject. Okay. But you're talking about the alcohol stuff. Yes, so that's a fact. That's a fact. Yes, people blame it on the alcohol. What Jamie Foxx said, blame it on the you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay, Big Miami Hurricane. Yo, Miami look good. Miami look good. And mind you, I've been very critical of the ACC, and I still stand on it. ACC is ass. But the Hurricanes have played well. They didn't look great all season, but they look great when it matters the most. They look good in the very beginning of the season, and then somewhere in the middle it got kind of clunky. I don't know if it got mundane or they played down to the competition, but man, had they turned the corner. Good team, great defense. Number 10 is special. Number 10 is special. He's going to play on Sunday. I pray to the Lord when I see special talent like that they don't get afflicted with some sort of injury. I'm not even throwing that in the air. But he is special. He is special. Carson Beck, he's mediocre. He's mediocre. If y'all lose, it's going to be because Carson Beck. When y'all lost to Virginia, it was because it was Virginia or LSU. No, Louisville. It was either Louisville or Virginia y'all lost. So I watched that game, and he threw them damn picks. I was like, man, he threw like 4 picks. If he plays well, y'all win. If he plays like dog shit, y'all lose. He's been mediocre. But shout out to the U, because the U have lost their swagger for real, ever since y'all switched y'all brand. Y'all know that, right? Ever since y'all went from Nike to Adidas, y'all lost y'all swag. Y'all need to get back to Nike after this year. Because I see the swag the way y'all been playing. And y'all been balling out. Y'all been balling out. That defense is nice. Defense is nice. All right, y'all. So that's my pick. My picks for college football for this past week. I'm going to have the new picks for the college football playoffs this Wednesday for Wednesday episode. My next games that I call for the NFL, my pick 6 for the NFL's first game I called Panthers versus the Bucks. I said the Panthers will win this game. They lost 14-16. What was the Panthers doing? They lost their way to a playoff spot. Like, that's crazy, right? They lost. They were supposed to win to secure their own future. They ended up losing to the Bucks 14-16. Next game I'll call Seahawks versus the 49ers. I thought the 49ers will win this game. The 49ers have been playing really good football, and it's hard to beat the same team twice. Seahawks won 13-3. Next game I'll call Saints versus the Falcons, and this is how the Panthers got into the playoffs. Falcons beat the Saints 19-17. Next game I'll call Lions versus the Bears. The Lions won 19-16, and I said the Lions will win that game. Next game I call Chargers versus the Broncos. I said the Broncos will win. They did 19-3. Next game I call Ravens versus the Steelers. I said the Ravens will win that game, And I believe they lost. Let me just look at the score because I had to come on live before the game ended. But I believe the Ravens lost, though. Y'all mentioned it in the chat, matter of fact. Uh, wow, they lost 26-24. Wow, 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 wow. So you got, so I lost that game as well, too. So the Ravens is out. They going home. They probably fired John Harbaugh, which they shouldn't. They should just reload and get a new crop of guys and keep Lamar, of course, and some of these other defined players. But the Ravens will probably fire John Harbaugh, and he won't be fired for long. He's a great coach, been a great coach for a while, and there's plenty of teams that's going to take him within a day. So, but that's my pick six for the NFL. I'm going to have the new picks for the NFL, my pick six for this Wednesday's episode. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to TikTok as well. Again, I'm cross-platforming on both platforms. My cousin used to play for the Steelers. Go Steelers. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I used to play against a couple of guys in the NFL. Sean Smith, Leon Williams, Stephen Gregory. Look them up. I played against some of those guys. That's what happens when you cause shoe treason. Your game ain't the same because you betrayed your own feet. I love that saying. I love that saying, eye for eye. I love that saying. Ashley, is it chill if I ask a quick question? CC Motions, what's your take on wearing Jordans like around the ages 30s to your 40s? Is there an age limit? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. But there is a dress code. But age limit, no. And what I mean by that is this. Yo, there's no age limit to how fly you can get. If you could pull it off, pull it off. Whether it's Jordans, whether it's Fila's, whether it's the Iversons, whatever that it is. If it's fly, pull it off. But the reason why I say there's a dress code, events do matter. Events do matter. If you go to a wedding, put on some shoes. Put the Jordans away. Put the shoes on. Put the hard bottoms on. It's cool. But there's no, you never, like my grandfather, I'm 41. My grandfather at 41 looked like he was about 64. And I say that with all due respect because he passed on great genes, but he carried himself as an old man. So he wore the slacks, suspenders, beach shirt, shoes, had the cane, and he was cool. But if I'm blessed enough to see my 60s and I could still pull off J's, oh, best believe I'm coming outside with them 11s, 12s, and 13s. And there's somebody to say I ain't fly enough to pull it off. So I don't think there's an age limit to how fly you can be, especially if you could pull it off. But when people are forcing it, and I hate seeing people that wear sneakers, and not just Jordans, but any sneakers that have it tied, like super tight, choked up, every lace, it'd be like, whoa, you need to invest in shoes. Your sneaker days are over. But if you fly enough to pull it off, there's no age limit. 30s and 40s, if you fly like that, you could do that. You know what I'm saying? You could do that. Just, again, I'm 41. I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but just the other day I'm in Home Depot. Bro said, yo, bro, your fit is fire. I just had to tell you that. And he worked it. The fit was flawless, though. I ain't going to hold you, but I capped it off with the white and gold low 11s. I capped it off with that. And the fit, it was flawless. You feel what I'm saying? And bro was like, yo, I just had to say, your fit, bro, fire. Appreciate that, bro. So if you duggy enough to still pull it off, hey, man. Hey, man, if the ladies love it, man, The ladies love it, man. If you can pull it off, you can pull it off. Some bras are better suited off with suits. I love a good suit too. I could pull off a suit too. But I don't want to wear no suit all the time. That's I'm hip hop, man. I'm hip hop. Throw me a jersey, throw me a polo shirt, throw me something Dougie. I rock the shirt that Tupac had on in Vegas. Give me a silk shirt, and I make that joint look crazy. I'm still mad I never bought that silk shirt at Ralph Lauren that time in Cali. I was in Cali, and they had this fire silk shirt. I was like, oh, I should cop this right here again. But I had copped the jacket, and the jacket was very expensive already. And I was like, yo, I'm doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You ever feel like when you shopping, you doing too much? I felt like I was doing too much. You know what I'm saying? So, I always see you on here with the drip. I asked real quick. Nah, Doug enough, pull it off, my brother. Eye for an eye. I'm there in age limit. I'm there in age limit because when he dropped them, Jordan Grand Daddies, not too long ago, I drew the line right there. To me, style is how you feel. Style is how you feel. And the crazy thing is, like my pops, as he got older, he would rock the little corduroy Jones, finish off with the boots, and he'll wear like the sports jacket with the regular 2-button, and I'm like, and then he'll finish it off with the little fedora, and I'm like, yo, bro, you should let me style you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should let me style you, kid. You know what I'm saying? He like, nah, I'm cool. And the reason why he said, nah, I'm cool, is because all the chicks that, you know what I'm saying, that was around him was like, oh, that's sharp. So a man gonna put that thing on for what the women really heading for. You know what I'm saying? So if the women like the fedora, the jacket, the blazer that you rocking, you gonna wear what gets the most attention from the ladies, whether it's intentional or unintentional, whether you doing it casually. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we look good as men, we don't want to feel like we doing too much. We want to like look good casually. Like, oh, you like this? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I didn't try like that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm glad you like it though. You know what I'm saying? So we do it like that, you know? We do it like that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. I'll keep the lie alive segment. So I keep the lie alive for this episode. Learn the difference between results and tolerance. Learn the difference between results and tolerance. Mind y'all, people will tolerate you as long as you give them results. If you don't give them results, toleration level will be non-existent. That's just a fact in personal life and business life. If you ever worked a job or been a part of a company, a part of a business, and you see people get like leeway, you're like, yo, why they get so much leeway? And then when you do your research, it's like, yo, they get results. They bring the company a lot of money. They make the company, the business, the job look good. Let them mess up. Let them start slacking. Let them start stealing. Let them start coming in late or ill-advised. Forget your results. The tolerance, bro. The tolerance is no longer going to be tolerated because it don't look good. It's not sexy. Think of the movie, I Think I Love My Wife. And in that movie, Chris Rock portrays a very successful business guy, and he was doing very well in his professional life. But then there was a character that came in, a woman from his past that shook his whole world upside down, and he was making bad moves personally, and it affected his personal life and his business life. And his boss brought him right in the office and said, look at here. This business is this table. Now, you brought this business over $25 million. Would you say that's a lot of money? Yeah, that's a lot of money. You know how much that's worth to this company? He pulled out a quarter, put it on the table. He said, this is what your results means to the table. Results versus tolerance. Learn the difference and stay sharp. That's my Keep the Lie Live for this episode. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been absolutely amazing, engaging, hitting them hearts, hitting them 100s in the chat. It does help with the growth of the show. We on the road to 20,000 subs. We're a little over 12,000. So again, if you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button. It doesn't cost you anything. There's membership portions in the page. Its links is in the bio. Different memberships are granted different access. We also got merchandise. Take advantage of the merchandise. Use the promo code BrothersPod. When you use that link in the bio, BrothersPod, you get 10% off all merchandise. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Also, be on the lookout for the new OUV Records app that's being developed right now, building our own music store because it gives a better listening experience to the listeners, a better visual experience as well, and because Spotify and Apple Music do not treat us good as independent artists, going to give y'all a better experience and a better product. Just come mess with us at OUV Records, the app, when it's finished, but it is being developed as we speak. Also, be on the lookout for the new comics and animation on World Domination. It's fire. I can't wait to share that with the world as well. I love the fact that we added the new portion of the pod with the Eddies and the Michael Awards, and meaning that because Eddie Murphy is the standard, I'm going to be giving out Eddie Murphy Awards. Instead of Grammys, instead of Oscars, we have the Eddies and we have the Michaels, as in Michael Jackson, for great music and great movies. What else we have going on? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I feel like I missed a couple of y'all. You rocking them Jordans, Jordan Daddy. I'm for sure. I'm still rocking Jordans for sure, for sure. Shout out to y'all, Javier. Shout out to Javier. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Eye for eye. I got some knowledge to drop. Stop trying. As long as you try, you'll never succeed. Never try to succeed. Just get up and succeed. I like that. I like that. Shout out to Yellow D, man. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Salute, Big Dog. Salute to you, my G. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. You got that badge. You badged up now. So you could take advantage of the all access of the memberships, man. Appreciate you, Yellow D. Pause. Shout out to my bro Biggs, man, aka Messiah. My dog, man. Appreciate you for tuning, man. Yeah, man, y'all, it's been an absolute blast. Again, I'm on every Wednesday, every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Sunday at 10:30. So make sure y'all tune and tap in. I cross-platform from time to time on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, but this is the mainstay, which is the YouTube. Make sure y'all hit the Kenner Brothers Get a Rap podcast playlist. Got a whole bunch of videos on there. Make sure y'all tap in, leaving comments, and show love, man. Show love. It costs nothing. And we got interesting takes, man. And even though my takes ain't always the most popular, because I don't care that it's popular, it matters that what I'm saying comes from a place of logic and truth. So, but again, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in as always. And remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out for being and saying negative. Be a standout for being positive and doing positive things. No Willie Lynch mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We only celebrate life culture. Hate has a location. It's just not here, y'all. And again, I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. Y'all already know, man. It's love. And I see y'all next time. I'm out.